People with bleeding gums, poor oral hygiene had higher heart attacks and strokes. So the solution back then, well, let's kill all the bacteria. But now fast forward 100 years, we know that there's a microbiome. There's bacteria that live in the mouth, on the skin, in the gut. And if we kill these good bacteria, it causes systemic disease. So we know better and we got to do better. But yet 2 out of 3 Americans still use mouthwash. Probably 99 out of 100 people are using fluoride in their toothpaste, and it's causing complete dysbiosis. Fluoride's a neurotoxin, decreases IQ in kids by as much as 7 points. There's no benefits. It's all risk. So get rid of it.
All right, guys, here at A4M, we got Dr. Nathan Bryan. It's been almost 2 years since you came on, I think.
Is that right?
Crazy, right?
Time flies.
Time flies. You got a book now, man. You're an author.
Sure.
Congrats.
That's like my 5th book, I think, but that's the latest
one.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. What was the inspiration for this one?
You know, really to bring people up to date on the science of nitric oxide. So this book, it tells the story of nitric oxide, what it is, how it's produced, why people should be concerned with it. But it's not just a scientific book, but it kind of interlays my personal journey, who I am, my personal journey of discovery, and then how we've been able to take the science of nitric oxide and translate that into clinical medicine, product technology that actually restores the body's ability to make it.
Yeah, when I think of nitric oxide, I literally picture your face now.
Oh, do you?
That's how, like...
Well, my PR and media and agents have done a good job then.
That's how I feel like you've positioned yourself when people think of nitric oxide, though.
Well, look, I spent 25 years in academia. I mean, I spent my entire adult career studying this single molecule. And, you know, I've always believed that to be successful, do one thing and do it better than anybody else in the world. And so that's what we've done.
Yeah. Any new studies or things since the last time you came on in regards to nitric oxide?
Well, we're moving the field forward. We've got drugs now for heart disease that we're developing through the FDA. We've got a drug for Alzheimer's, which I'm convinced will completely eradicate Alzheimer's, our nitric oxide drug therapy.
Wow.
Because Alzheimer's is a vascular metabolic disease that leads to protein misfolding. So it's hypoperfusion of the brain. It's insulin resistance in the brain, which is called diabetes type 3. And what does nitric oxide do? It dilates the blood vessels. It improves glucose uptake. It improves mitochondrial function. When you get the cells of the brain, the oxygen, the nutrients, and activate their mitochondria, then you don't get misfolding of proteins and you don't lose cognition.
That's very
That's what nitric oxide does.
Because they say Alzheimer's starts when you're very young, right? Like you start building it up in your 20s and your 30s.
Well, there's risk factors. So everything that we know, risk factors that are associated or lead to a loss of nitric oxide production increase your risk for developing dementia and Alzheimer's. So what is that? High blood pressure, erectile dysfunction, smoking, poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, all those decrease nitric oxide production. The end result is lack of blood flow, insulin resistance, and then eventually Alzheimer's.
Yeah. You're seeing a lot of Alzheimer's and a lot of erectile dysfunction too these days.
Yeah, so erectile dysfunction precedes dementia and Alzheimer's.
Oh, it does? So it's like a...
Yeah, it's what we call the canary in the coal mine, because think about it. Erectile dysfunction is the lack of the ability to dilate the blood vessels of the sex organs. So when we need to recall memory or have some executive function, we've got to dilate, we've got to perfuse certain regions of the brain. So if you can't dilate the blood vessels, the sex organs, when you're going to have sex, then you can't, that same dysfunction occurs in the brain, in the cerebral arteries. So now you've lost the ability to dilate blood vessels, increase blood flow on demand. And that's what nitric oxide does. So ED is a risk factor for development of heart disease, Alzheimer's, diabetes. And it's all related to lack of nitric oxide.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So it's like a precursor.
For sure.
And there's guys in their 20s with it now.
No, look, and here's the therapeutic solution is drugs like Viagra and Cialis, the PD-5 inhibitors. But we know that those drugs only work in 50% of the men in which they're prescribed. So 50% of the people that have ED, men who have ED, don't even get a therapeutic benefit from drugs like Viagra.
Yeah.
And what we've discovered is that drugs like Viagra are dependent upon the body's ability to make nitric oxide. So in these people who don't respond to Viagra, their body doesn't make any nitric oxide to activate that second messenger system, which Viagra can enhance or potentiate. So that told us, 20 years ago, erectile dysfunction is a symptom of nitric oxide deficiency.
If you're running vehicles or field teams, you already know how fast one small incident can turn into a big, expensive problem. If a driver got into an accident tomorrow, could you actually show what happened? Because without footage, you're usually stuck paying for it. That's why companies use Samsara. They bring AI dash cams, vehicle tracking, and asset visibility into one simple platform so you could see what's happening and make smarter decisions. Teams using Samsara are seeing major drops in crashes, fewer false claims, and safer driving overall. Large operators across transportation, construction, and logistics trust it, and some companies are saving millions each year just by using better data. Unlike basic dash cams, Samsara connects vehicles, assets, and job sites into one dashboard with real-time video that protects drivers when they're not at fault. If I ran a fleet or field operation, this is what I'd use. Don't wait for the next accident to take action. Head to samsara.com/DSH to request a free demo and see how Samsara brings visibility and safety to your operations. That's samsara.com/DSH. Samsara, operate smarter.
And we have to treat it as such.
I don't personally ever want to take Viagra. Did you see Dan Bazarian talk about his experience with it?
No, I missed that.
Oh, you missed that?
But look, the goal of medicine should be to never prescribe drugs. Understand the root cause of disease and implement what we call restorative physiology. Give the body what it needs, remove the body from it what it doesn't need, and then the body heals itself.
Right.
And in that paradigm, there is no need for drug therapy. And that should be our goal.
That should be the goal, yeah. But instead, we got average elderly person on, over 10 medications?
Yeah, at least. I mean, we did a COVID drug study during COVID from 2020 to 2023, and some of these patients that we enrolled in our clinical trial were on 24 different medications.
Oh, my God.
50 to 80-year-old people on 15, 20, 24, and they wonder why they're sick. When your body's exposed to 24, 25 different synthetic compounds that inhibit normal biochemical reactions, the body can't perform.
Because there's a side effect for each one they take, right?
That's right.
So then they got to take another one.
It's a vicious cycle.
Crazy. 24 is insane, though. Like,
Yeah,
why would you
I mean,
want to
it
wake up and rely on 24?
You know, these people were zombie-like, and they wonder why they get susceptible to viral disease and have all these other comorbidities. I mean, we got to do better. We understand the mechanism of disease to the extent that we can eliminate drug therapy and fix it, address root cause. You know, that's one of the benefits of the A4M, because we're addressing root cause and really getting to longevity medicine.
Yeah, part of me feels for them because I feel like that generation really trusts doctors. Like, they really value their opinions, you know, and they'll just get, as soon as they say, like, you need to take this, they're like, yeah, I'll start taking that.
Well, no, that's been the problem. We've been conditioned to trust doctors, never question doctors, and we have to question everything now. I mean, the goal of medicine should be to understand what's causing the symptoms, not treat the symptoms with drug therapy, but then take corrective measures, because we know diet and lifestyle is key.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've been conditioned to, you know, just take a pill. You don't have to change your diet. You don't have to change your lifestyle. We're just going to give you this pill. And that's easy. But health is not easy. I think it's simple, but it's not easy.
Respect for saying that, first of all, because you are literally a doctor.
That's right. No, we have to do better. I taught in medical school for 15 years, teaching future physicians. And, you know, we understand the biochemistry and the physiology to the extent that we have to address what's causing people to get sick. And all you have to do is look at the numbers. We have the most advanced civilization in the history of the world, and yet we have the sickest people on the planet. Americans are the sickest people. And why is that? It's because people get sick, get symptoms, and we take drugs, but we never address the root cause of why we get sick or don't optimize our human physiology.
A valid point, because I think during the pandemic, didn't we lose either the most or the second most out of any country?
You know, I don't even know what numbers to believe.
Yeah.
I don't believe anything that happened during COVID. You know, the so-called experts, you know, I think we were duped.
Because they were labeling a lot of deaths as COVID. So it's hard to know.
Yeah, seasonal flu. During those 3 years of COVID, there was not a single death due to influenza.
Right.
And every year we know 20 to 60,000 people die of influenza. But the same people who got sick and died from COVID were the same people who got sick and died from flu for the past 100 years.
Right.
There's known risk factors. And what we found is that the people who are nitric oxide deficient were the people who get sick and die from flu, people who got sick and died from COVID. So let's address restoring nitric oxide production, mitigate those risk factors, and make you resistant to viral infections. I've never had COVID.
Wow.
I didn't get the
4
shot.
times.
I didn't wear a mask. I was exposed to COVID, and I've never had COVID.
Were you on, can I ask if you were on nicotine?
I never took nicotine.
Okay, because I know there was some studies on people that were taking nicotine were a little more immune.
Well, I think for us, what we recognize is that the spike protein binds to the ACE2 receptor. And so in people who are nitric oxide deficient, there's an upregulation of the ACE2 receptor. So there's more binding sites for the spike protein. People who take nitric oxide like me, who are nitric oxide replete, the ACE2 receptor is downregulated. So we may be exposed to COVID or the spike protein, but there's no receptor for it to bind to. So we become resistant to viral infections.
Wow. Just by having proper nitric oxide
That's
levels.
right. And understanding the signaling aspects and downregulation of adhesion molecules decreasing inflammation, oxidative stress, and immune dysfunction, and allowing the immune system to go. Because we've known since 2005 that nitric oxide prevents coronavirus replication. That was SARS-CoV-1. SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 is basically the same mechanism. So it prevents viral replication, and it's how our innate immune system works, similar to bacterial infections. If we get a bacterial infection, our immune system is mobilizing. We generate nitric oxide. It binds to the iron sulfur centers of the bacteria, shuts down the respiration, and kills it. But if you can't make nitric oxide, if you don't have a good immune system or good cardiovascular system, the bacteria or the viruses become immune to the cardiovascular system because poorly vascularized tissues are more prone to infections. So for me, it's been all about blood flow and circulation.
And that's what happened during the pandemic. Everyone's immune system was weakened, staying inside all day.
And everything that the so-called experts were recommending made us more susceptible.
Yeah.
Social isolation, wearing masks, rebreathing carbon dioxide, using antiseptic, antibacterial wipes, sterilizing our environment.
Can't focus, struggling to sleep, or feeling wired? This balances your brain and body fast. A cutting-edge EEG study found something phenomenal with Quantum Upgrade. Stress-related brainwave activity dropped by 80%, calming alpha waves in the limbic system increased over 13x, and HRV improved big time. That's just the start. Quantum Upgrade is a 24/7 quantum energy streaming service that boosts your energy, focus, recovery, and sleep with no device needed. I personally use this myself, and it's also recommended by top athletes, leading biohackers, and functional medicine practitioners. It can neutralize the harmful effects of EMFs, increase ATP production by up to 29%, and improve cell recovery, blood health, and circulation within minutes. Yes, double-blind studies confirm it. And with Quantum Upgrade, you don't have to fight against technology, you could thrive with it. Get your 15-day free trial, no credit card required. Use the code DSH, go to quantumupgrade.io and experience the upgrade for yourself, quantumupgrade.io.
Using mouthwash, everything made us more susceptible, and it was a vicious cycle that made no sense from a biochemical, physiological standpoint.
You got me off mouthwash the first time you came on, by the way. I never drank.
That's always, for 30-something years, I've published over 100 peer-reviewed papers, and we made this observation that there's oral bacteria that are responsible for the production of nitric oxide that are regulating blood pressure. So anything that kills oral bacteria will decrease nitric oxide production and cause an increase in blood pressure. But that's the headline grabber.
Yeah,
this causes high blood pressure.
Yeah, because it's something that just everyone did growing up. No one questioned it. No one questioned brushing with fluoride growing up or using mouthwash.
I know, but I always look back and say, why were we doing this? Why was this ever introduced? And I think it was with good reason, because 100 years ago was first this oral systemic link. People with bleeding gums, poor oral hygiene had higher heart attacks and strokes, incidence of heart attack and stroke. So the solution back then, let's kill all the bacteria. Let's use chlorhexidine, let's use fluoride, and let's sterilize the oral environment. But now fast forward 100 years, we know that there's a microbiome. There's bacteria that live in the mouth, on the skin, in the gut, and if we kill these good bacteria, it causes systemic disease. So we know better, and we got to do better. So we have to support the microbiome today. We know that. We can't destroy it. But yet, 2 out of 3 Americans still use mouthwash. Probably 99 out of 100 people are using fluoride in their toothpaste, and it's causing complete dysbiosis. Fluoride's a neurotoxin, decreases IQ in kids by as much as 7 points.
Damn.
There's no benefits. It's all risk. So get rid of it. We have to get rid of it.
That's terrible. 7 points.
Yeah, no, that study was published last year in September.
Dude, that could ruin your life in certain situations.
Yeah,
That's a lot. That's a lot of intelligence gone down the drain.
In kids early on.
Yeah,
who knows if I don't think you recover from that.
It's hard. It's really hard, they say, to gain IQ back or gain IQ at all. Jesus, 7 points is terrible. But even if they remove it from the tap water, it'll still be everywhere, right?
I don't think so. When you look at risk benefit, because everything we do in terms of medicine and public policy, it's what is the benefit this can provide and at what risk? And now the data are very clear. There's no benefit to fluoride. It doesn't improve teeth mineralization. It doesn't prevent cavities. Okay, so if there's no benefit and there's risk, what's the risk? It's a neurotoxin. It shuts down your thyroid function. It's antiseptic, and it lowers IQ. So eliminate it from any source of exposure. Dentists got to get rid of it in their practices. The municipalities, 73% of municipalities in the U.S. have fluoride in their drinking water. You must remove it and get rid of fluoride in toothpaste. And then people will get better.
We got uranium in our tap water here.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. No, look, I think that's why it's so important for people to have home filtration systems
for sure.
to filter the water. Because look, it's not just the water we're drinking; it's the water we're bathing in, it's the water we cook in. And so, water is extremely important.
It's everywhere. Yeah, when you shower, you absorb a pint. When you cook,
That's even worse because you're heating it up to 104, 110 degrees. Now you're volatilizing it. The chloride, the fluoride.
you're inhaling it, right?
Yeah.
That's why I
You're
don't use
inhaling
steam
it.
rooms anymore.
Yeah.
I used to love them, but they're using tap
It's
water.
the water supply. Yeah.
Yeah, so hell no. What's the biggest thing to look out for other than fluoride, do you think?
I think the big culprit are antacids.
Antacids?
Antacids, what we call proton pump inhibitors. These are the prescriptions are omeprazole and pantoprazole. And then the over-the-counter proton pump inhibitors are things like Prevacid, Nexium, Prilosec. These drugs are causing a 40% increase in heart attack, stroke, and Alzheimer's.
Holy shit.
And it's because they're completely inhibiting nitric oxide production. And yet there's 200 million prescriptions written for antacids every year. 2 out of 3 Americans using these over-the-counter. You don't even have to have a prescription for these drugs. And they're causing death and destruction.
Oh my God. That's crazy. 200 million a year, you said?
200 million prescriptions just in the U.S.
That's like 2/3 of the population.
No, that's right.
That's insane.
And people have been on these antacids for years, decades. And the data show that if you've been on them for at least 3 years, 40% greater incidence of heart attack, stroke, and Alzheimer's. And people take these just
Like candy, they're
like
popping.
candy every day.
I don't really chase trends anymore. I just want clothes that work, feel good, and last. I've stopped buying a lot of clothes and started buying better ones. Stuff that fits right, holds up, and I actually wear. That's why I've been going with Quince. They've got basics I actually use, organic cotton sweaters, clean polos, lightweight jackets, stuff that holds up to daily wear and still looks good. Quality's solid and everything's built to last. What makes Quince different is how they do it. They work directly with top factories, cut out the middleman, and you're not paying for brand markup, just quality clothing. And they only partner with factories that meet high standards for craftsmanship and ethical production. Refresh your wardrobe with Quince. Go to quince.com/DSH for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/DSH. Now available in Canada too. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/DSH.
How reversible is that damage if they're on it for years?
Well, here's the problem with those drugs is you can't just quit them cold turkey. You have to wean off of them because you're going to get a hyper secretion of stomach acid and it's going to make your life very miserable. So we have to start implementing protocols to slowly wean off because you need stomach acid to break down proteins into amino acids. You need stomach acid to absorb B vitamins, calcium, zinc, iodine, selenium, chromium. And so you become nutrient deficient if you're on antacids. And then you're inhibiting nitric oxide production. So it's the perfect recipe for chronic disease. If I wanted to completely destroy one's life and physiology, the first thing I'd do is put them on a proton pump inhibitor. Second thing I would do was get their cholesterol below 200, give them a cholesterol-lowering medication. Third thing I would do is put fluoride in their drinking water. And that's our healthcare system.
Yeah, the statins are crazy.
Statins, yeah.
That's the whole debate.
It makes you completely dependent upon pharmaceuticals for the rest of your life. And it's a great business model. It's a great financial model, but it's at the expense of our own health.
It's a great model because they always talk about the heart, and everyone worries about their heart. So as soon as they're like, you got heart issues, take the statin, they're like, yeah, let me get that, you know?
Yeah, but if you look at the data, if someone who knows how to read clinical trial data and look at the absolute risk, the number of patients to treat to see an effect versus the relative risk, what they report, there's no benefit to cholesterol-lowering medication. Either in primary prevention of heart attack, secondary, tertiary prevention, there's zero benefit. So again, it goes back to the discussion. If it's no benefit, then okay, what's the risk?
Right.
The risk is muscle cramps and pains, myalgia, diabetes. These statins are mitochondrial toxicants because they're causing certain cancers. So if there's no benefit and it's all risk, that's a very easy quotient.
Yep.
You don't give it to anybody. The data are very clear. So cholesterol doesn't cause heart disease. Why would you target it if it's not the causal agent? And it doesn't. So, that's early on in the 80s, that was the prevailing hypothesis. But again, science prevails, data are the data, and it's clearly shown that lowering cholesterol does not prevent heart disease, so why treat it?
So many people think the two are linked, cholesterol and heart disease.
Yeah, because that's what the American Heart Association and all the American Medical Association and Big Pharma has ingrained in our mind for the past 30, 40 years.
Cheerios.
Cheerios. Yeah. No.
I always associate Cheerios.
Our body, there's a reason. Look, I'm trained as a biochemist and physiologist. There's a reason our body makes cholesterol, because we need it. If you can't make cholesterol, you can't make testosterone. Women can't make estrogen. You can't make vitamin D. You become immunocompromised. And we have an epidemic of men with low testosterone, women with hormone disorders, an epidemic of immunocompromised people because they have vitamin D in their 30s, below 50, which makes them immunocompromised.
I think my high LDL or LDL cholesterol, is that a thing? I think mine was like 111. They said that was high.
Yeah, but look, the standard lipid panel looking at cholesterol, LDL, and HDL has zero prognostic or diagnostic value. Zero. It's not predictive. It's not diagnostic. What you have to look at are the different kind of advanced lipid panel. What's the amount of oxidation that's occurring to the lipoprotein particles? The particle size, number, and density.
Got it. Yeah, I don't think they measured that.
No, they don't. All they do is give you total cholesterol, LDL, HDL, and then try to treat you to normal.
Yeah, they tell you to stop eating eggs.
Stop eating eggs, yeah. I don't want, if normal is the general population, I don't want to be normal.
I hate how they always compare your blood results to the normal range.
No, but what is normal? It's a bell curve. It's 95% confidence intervals within 95% of the population.
I don't want to be that.
No, all you got to do is walk around and look. Do you want to be like 95% of the people that walking around? 95% of the people walking around are metabolically unfit. 93% of Americans are metabolically unfit. 2 out of 3 Americans have high blood pressure. 2 out of 3 Americans are obese or overweight. I mean, count me. I don't want to be normal. If that's normal,
2 out of 3 are obese.
Yeah, I don't want to be normal if that's normal. I want to be optimal.
Crazy. I wonder what the healthiest country is. It's got to be like
that data's out there. I don't know what it is.
Mediterranean diet somewhere in Europe, I'd imagine. Maybe Japan or Asia.
I think Japan certainly. I mean, they have the highest number of centurions. People live greater than 100. I don't know what their overall kind of health span is.
Country would be tough because there's so many different cities and
yeah, and now the whole world is a melting pot, right?
Yeah.
We've got convergence of cultures and different ethnicities.
Yeah.
Still taking your pre-workout after you get to the gym? You're already late. What if your pre-workout actually worked with your body? Are you tired of artificial energy drinks? Meet NO-Beast, a beet-based nitric oxide booster that supports your body's natural nitric oxide production for increased blood flow, mitochondrial ATP energy, and endurance naturally. N101 nitric oxide lozenges is a smarter way to fuel your workout. Just dissolve it in your mouth and it starts working before your first rep. No mixing, no jitters, no crash. More nitric oxide means better blood flow, stronger pumps, and sustained energy without caffeine overload. Plus, it supports your cardiovascular and cognitive health too. You can support your body's nitric oxide production daily and feel the difference with N101. Just mix 1 packet with a little water and take it as a shot 10 to 20 minutes before training. Pop a lozenge 10 to 15 minutes pre-workout and feel the difference. Train smarter with N101 at n101.com.
So when you started speaking out against all this, because you said you were teaching for 15 years, did you lose your job? Like, what happened there?
So the discoveries we made over the past 25 years are starting to be fundamental truths, right? These are truths based on normal physiology. Mm-hmm. And I like this quote by Schopenhauer from 1600s. Truths go through 3 stages. They're opposed, or they're ridiculed, they're violently opposed, and it's accepted as being self-evident. So obviously I was ridiculed early on with my academic colleagues. I left academia because I knew that I didn't want to put my technology in the hands of other companies to see it forward. So I left academia to become an entrepreneur, started companies, and then I productized, commercialized my discoveries. But I kept a presence in academia for probably 5 or 6 years. But then it's very difficult to do 2 jobs, be a full-time professor of medicine, be an entrepreneur running companies. So I made a decision to step aside from academia and run these companies. But, as we've progressed the technology, competitors have entered the market, and they've come after me. I've been sued personally. My companies have been sued.
For what?
For telling the truth and identifying products that don't work. Because companies that do not understand the science of nitric oxide really have no business commercial or selling a nitric oxide product. Because they don't understand the science. It's not like a vitamin C or vitamin D we can put in a capsule and give it to you and treat a number. If your vitamin D is 30, we'll give you a vitamin D and get to 80 or optimal. Nitric oxide is a gas. It's gone in less than a second when it's produced. So unless you understand how the body makes nitric oxide and what leads to the loss of its production, then these companies out there have no business selling a nitric oxide product because it's a complex science.
Yeah.
So when I started testing products, nitric oxide products and revealing that they didn't work.
They didn't like that.
They didn't like that. No, because this is a big industry.
I can't believe you could sue for that though, because you're literally factually testing it and showing the results. It's not like you're defaming them.
No, well, look, anybody can sue anybody, right? Whether there's merit to it or not. So look, we stand on truth. We defend our science, and it's a business strategy. Big companies sue little guys all the time to deplete them of the resources. It's the art of war, and it's a business strategy.
Yeah.
But, we stand on truth, and we've survived it, and we're moving forward.
I love it. Where can people watching this get some product? I think we have a discount code that we set up.
Yeah, so the product technology can be found at n101.com. My company's called Bryan Therapeutics, and we're developing drug therapy, but we have a consumer line of products with an N101 brand. We make a lozenge. We make a fermented beet powder for pre-workout and energy. We make a complete skincare line of products. I developed a nitric oxide-friendly toothpaste, fluoride-free, targeting the microbiome, improving the diversity, improving nitric oxide production. So n101.com. That's the letter N, number one, letter O, number one.com.
Code DSH, I believe we set up.
Yeah, keep on code DSH.
Perfect.
And then, I've got a new book I just published in February. We launched it on Fox and Friends up in New York. And
Nice.
Brick Tower Press and my agent Alan Morrell made that happen. But it tells the story of nitric oxide, kind of my personal journey of discovery. So I think it's a must read. People need to know what nitric oxide is and understand its importance.
Beautiful. Check out the books, guys. Check out the products. I use the toothpaste and I love it. So thank you, man. Good seeing you again.
Yeah, good seeing you.
See you soon.
Yeah.
See you guys.
I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the show a lot with the algorithm. Thank you.